You can publish podcast with iblog.com.
We're joined in the studio right now by composer and pianist Brian Crain. He's the creator behind the famous tune we're hearing right now and is just wrapping up his Korea tour. Most recently, he was named an honorary cultural ambassador by the city of Yangwol. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, how was the Korea tour?
It was great. Yeah, it was very busy. We hit a lot of cities. Started off, just doing some promotion stuff, but then we had back to back every day driving. Or we took the train down to Yosu yesterday, and then back last night. So
Wow,
lots of travel.
Yeah. Do you feel welcome here?
Oh yes, yeah.
You come here quite often, yeah?
Yeah, I've been coming here for 12 years. It is just an awesome experience to play here in Korea, and the audiences are fantastic. When we played in Yosu yesterday, I think it was about 800 people there, and 800 people stood in line for autographs. So. And they're so excited, It was really cool. It's like, we have to hurry, we have to catch a train. So,
yeah.
it was fun.
So, I understand that the concept behind this tour was healing.
Yes.
Why?
My music is it just kind of has a healing property to it. If you have a busy day at work, or you're grieving, or just you're just not feeling quite right, it just kind of takes that stress away. And it's always really been the point of my music is the reason I write is just to kind of give you that breath of fresh air and just kind of lift the stress of the world off your shoulders.
Well, I actually went to bed last night listening to your music.
Oh, good.
And it worked.
Take all the stress away.
So that tune we heard earlier, Butterfly Waltz, it's especially popular here in Korea. Why do you think that is?
Well, it was first on, I think it was one of the first dramas back in 2000, I think 2000 actually. So, but it was just, it was popular then, and has become more popular just because it's been played on radio so much, and commercials and things. And I think it just kind of encapsulates that, the feeling that Korean people want of just really sweet, simple, just kind of just happiness. It's not a complicated song. It just makes you feel good. It's just one of those.
It's pretty. It is pretty. And even though people might not know that it's called Butterfly Waltz and it's by Brian Crain, as soon as they hear it,
yes,
they'll start humming
the
along.
Music, yeah.
Yeah, it's become that famous. So this trip, it has a special meaning, I guess, because you were named an honorary cultural ambassador by the city of Yangwol last week. How did that happen?
Well, the first last year I went to Yangwol for the first time, and it's a small town, and when I did the concert, they didn't really know how the concert was going to go. They're nervous, like, oh, well, will there be enough people in town to go see Brian? And the place was packed, and they were just so excited to see me. And one of the fun things about Yangwol is most of the people there speak English, because they just have a really, really good English education program there. I think the mayor, Mr. Park, is just really, really concerned about getting his people to be successful, and so it was for me, it was an extra special concert because I was able to tell my stories and my jokes, and everybody got them. When you tell some audiences who tell a joke and it's like
doesn't always work. Right?
You gotta wait for the translator, and you're sitting there, oh, okay, but with them it was. So I just had that extra little connection with them, and we had they have a really nice resort there, the Sista Resort, which we were able to stay for a couple days, and it's just was just a cool experience amongst, so much work and travel and stuff. It was just one of those special times that. So I decided when I got home to write a song for Young Wall, which it put together the kind of beauty of the natural surroundings with the just the kindness of the people with the whitewater. So it kind of goes back and forth between just simple beauty and a little bit more fast paced kind of fun.
So that's the Yahweh Changa, the song for Yahweh.
Yes.
Yeah, and you played it this time?
I did, yes. Yeah,
How did it go?
It went great. We actually played it twice. We did it in the beginning of the second half, and then played it for an encore. And the second time was even more special. It's pretty cool.
Wow, I have a feeling that's going to be like the anthem of Yahweh. Yes, I mean, how many international composers does the city of Yahweh get to write songs for them, right? So what sort of responsibilities or privileges come with the title of Honorary Cultural Ambassador?
I think that it's mostly what I want to do to promote Young Wall.
Whatever you want to do.
It's kind of a one-sided, do what you can to get it out there. But the concert after Young Wall, I think it was Uju. They were saying, oh well, you talk so highly of Young Wall. I said, well, I am the cultural ambassador. That's my job. It's an unpaid job, but it is.
Well, now every city in Korea is going to want to appoint you as cultural ambassador. You're going to be torn later on between which city to promote first.
That's right.
So this connection, this deep connection with Korea that you have had for the last 12 years, how did it all begin?
The first record company that I had, A Pro CNC, Mr. Lee and Mr. An, they actually found me on the internet back when it was really, really early, and they had there's a website called mp3.com. And it was a very popular place for just kind of new artists, to get their music out into the rest of the world. I was popular in the United States, but it's very difficult to tackle the rest of the world. And they found me and they said, I want to release an album, and maybe we'd sell 1,000. We don't know. And they were very, very aggressive and got it onto so many TV shows and commercials, and so it just took off from there. It just it was an incredible success, and it really laid the groundwork for being able to do the concerts, and it's just been a blessing for me all the way around, because it's the success here has added more success to other countries in Asia, and I'm known pretty much everywhere now, so it's good. So has your experience in Korea changed, would you say, since your very first visit? Yeah, the first time we were here, it was the tour was about 3.5 weeks, and it was difficult for me to get used to the food. I had an upset stomach for most of the time. And, back then in 2001, it was actually surprisingly difficult to find bread or milk, or so it was my typical diet. I couldn't find. I could find plenty of kimchi, and rice, but so. I would run across an occasional fried chicken or something, but now there's just coffee shops everywhere, and all the hotels have their continental breakfast with American style food. So I absolutely love Korean food, but sometimes my American stomach needs sure a little bit of milk or a piece of bread. So Korea has become more American friendly. Yeah, since absolutely. Your first visit. Yes, absolutely. What do you enjoy about visiting Korea? Really, the fans are. It's a great experience to perform to hoots and hollers. my
Although
music.
your music's not really a Hoots and Hollers kind of music.
It really is the kind of music that, when I do concerts in America, the people are very, very nice, and it's like, oh, and they'll come up and say, oh, I loved your music, and it really made me feel at peace, but here it's like I'm a rock star, it's like, oh my gosh, Brian Crain, so it's very, very special, and to have 800 people stand in line to meet me and to get an autograph is really, really special. It's and I could just see it in their eyes that they're so happy to meet me, and that for them it is a really big deal, and that's really cool.
Well, I think this may be a good opportunity to listen to your music.
Okay.
Let our listeners appreciate your music on the radio right now. So let's play it. It's Brian Crain's Butterfly Waltz. Woohoo! Brian Crain! That's really
just rock that
music.
piece out.
I understand you've been composing from a very early age, starting by whistling new tunes.
Yes.
Where do you think you got your musical talent from?
I don't know. It's just always been part of me. That's a strange thing for me too. Is when I because I ask people, they say, you were the strangest kid because you just be whistling all the time, and I'd ask you what you were doing, and you say, what you were whistling. I said, I don't know, I just made it up. And I remember much of that, and my dad has always been a big influence on me, and musically, and although he doesn't play, he really appreciates music, and I don't know, it's interesting. It's just one of those things.
It wasn't always your dream to become a composer and pianist, though. I hear at one point you were pursuing a career in professional baseball.
Yes, that was.
Wow.
My shoulder still hurts thinking about that.
You do have a baseball player's physique, I think.
Yeah.
More a baseball player than a pianist.
Yes, that's right. Yes, most pianists are tall and skinny, and that's not me.
So what happened from baseball to piano?
Well, I just wasn't able to make it to the top level, so I had to do something else. But I always had music as I used to record, work on movies. So I would record the dialogue, and then I'd put them together with music and do the mixing. So I've had the equipment. And I had my parents' piano, and just decided one day that through my parents' persuading to start recording an album. And I at that time I thought, well, why would anybody want to listen to my piano pieces? But the first album turned out to be a really, really good success, and went back in the studio really fast and said, well, I have to make another one of these. This is really cool. I just didn't realize that, that people would want to hear me play. But
what does it take for you to compose? Can you just sit down and start playing, or do you still whistle brand new tunes?
Yeah. I do come up with some melodies out of my head, just it's like, oh, I can hear that. But typically, it comes from weeks and months of sitting at the piano and playing, and I just improvise until I hear something that I like. So with the song for Youngwall, I was just really just messing around, just kind of playing with a different chord transition, and it's just like, oh my gosh, that's it. It's such a cool piece, and I couldn't get it out of my head. So I knew that it was something special. When I can't get away from it.
Well, you've had a lot of success with a lot of the pieces that you composed. They were used in movies and TV commercials around the world. Do you have a personal favorite? Is there a special child among them?
Probably Butterfly Waltz.
Yeah?
I mean, it really is the interesting thing about Butterfly Waltz is I released it first on my album called A Simple Life, which was called Moonlight here, and on my album in the States, it was song number 10. So it wasn't like, here's, Butterfly Waltz, this is my great song, it's going to be, it was just, I liked the song and I thought it was nice, but it wasn't really, really special at that time. And it was the Korean company, A-Pro CNC, that put it number one because they liked it so much. And so it was the first song on that album. And, it just kind of, took on a life of its own, and a composer really doesn't, you don't know when something is magical and something works, and until you start seeing the looks on people's faces and what they say, and you really start to go, wow, I guess that is a really good tune, I mean, because I work just as hard on every piece. It's not like I say, well, this one's good, but all the rest of them are terrible, so this is the one I'm going to put first. I mean, that's the way the record companies used to do it. They would release 2 songs that were great, and then the rest is... But, I try my best on every song, so, it's just, it's just one of those things where everything happened in the right way to make it extra special. That's cool.
Well, I'm actually excited to listen to Song for Youngwon, and we're going to play that as we wrap up this interview. Thank you very much, Brian, for coming in and telling us your story, and we'll look forward to seeing you in Korea very soon.
Fantastic.
In the near future.
I'll be here next year.
All right. And that was composer and pianist Brian Crain. With that, we're wrapping up 1013 Main Street for this Monday. Hope you enjoyed the first day of the new season. Tune in to us throughout the week for the little changes that we've made to the brand new season of 1013 Main Street. I'm An Jung-hyun. Stay tuned for K-Popular with Aswan coming up next. And have a great day. I'll meet you back here tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock on the dot. Taking us out today is Brian Crain's Song for Youngwon.